So in this chapter, I'm going to briefly talk about topology and the new ReTopology tab in Modo 601. You could do topology in Modo 501, but it wasn't as big a part of the program as it is now. And there's a lot of good information out there on it, but a lot of people are asking me, why would I need this? If I already have a 3D object in my scene, like you can see right here, why do I need ReTopology? And what is ReTopology? Well, essentially, ReTopology has a few uses. Number one, for me at least, when I have models like this that come from just other sources and they're old data from 3D Studio, they come in with a mesh like this. Look at that. That's horrible. And the other problem with that is that look at how chunky it is. Even if you go to the render, that's not actually clean as it should be. It's just got all these bumps in it because of the topology, the way the polygons are laid out. So why would you use something like that? Why would you use ReTopology? Well, this is a really good example. ReTopology lets you rebuild this object, but it's essentially a way to trace over an object in 3D. That's one use, to rebuild objects. And a lot of times you can find terrific models online, but sometimes their data is just messed up. It looks like this. And you want to have a good flow. You want to keep that nice quad mesh like we've always talked about. So for instance, here's a chair. And I'll press Shift A to fit this to view. Now look how clean that chair is. Why? Because it's made up of a quad mesh. Nice and clean. Renders really well. The table, on the other hand, is terrible. Made up of triangles and quads and five-sided ones and all kinds of things. And it renders poorly. So that is why we would rebuild it. Beyond that, you're going to rebuild so that you can render and work faster. A cleaner mesh means you have a faster processing, faster rendering, because it's not calculating all these unnecessary polygons and everything else. Now there's another reason too, which a lot of people might not be aware of. ReTopology is really good when you have characters or full-blown humans, things like that, and you need to build clothing or you need to build a belt. In fact, I just had to build a belt on a character today for another project, and basically I was just making a ring and scaling it and squeezing it down, when essentially I could use ReTopology tools because it constrains to the background model, which I'll show you in a little bit. And you can essentially trace over and use that as a template to build something that's fitting, like clothes or a belt or a hat. So that's what all the ReTopology tools can do. You can find them right here in the Topology tab. And Modo is working really well with this new version. The guys at Luxology have done a really good job adding in these topology tools, and I'll show you how to use those in the next video. We're not going to do too much extensive work with this, but what we're going to show in the next video or two will really help you get used to it, try some things out. We're going to use some existing models, and that might be where some of the confusions come in from some of the people that have emailed me. All the examples are showing just existing models, and it's confusing because, like, well, you call up a model from the layout from our meshes down here, perhaps an animal, like a dog. Well, the dog actually is already in there and works really well. Why would we rebuild it? It's just an example. When you have models that come in from, let's say, TurboSquid or CAD data, and even Pro-E and things like that that are really overbuilt, well, you're going to use ReTopology to make them a lot cleaner. So let's go into the next video, and I'll show you how to use these tools.